Hey, I'm Stephanie Forian, and it's Tech Talk time.
Tech Talk, Tech Talk,
Time to talk tech. Welcome to my weekly web series on the techniques and technology behind the creative process. I'm currently in the midst of a mini-series on how I create my one-woman band videos because I've been getting so many questions about them recently. Last week we focused on lighting. Today we'll be talking about how to set the scene. Perhaps, like me, you have been browsing social media and you become mesmerized by a video of a musician performing in their living room. But as you watch the video, you notice at some point that you get distracted by something you see. Maybe it's a slightly unflattering camera angle, or maybe you start to notice objects in the background of the video. Is that dirty laundry? You don't have to get super fancy when it comes to choosing camera angles or setting up your room for a video, but there are a couple of quick and easy, simple tips that you can use that will immediately make your videos look better. The first is to take a minute to frame your shot. Figure out where you're going to place the camera and then make sure that you check the viewfinder to actually see exactly what your camera will be filming. For example, if you place your camera really low and aimed upwards, your audience might end up looking up your nose, which may or may not be your aesthetic. I'll leave that up to you. But you also want to check to see what else is in the shot. For instance, is your half-eaten bag of Cheetos somewhere in the background? That orange color may very well complement your guitar. However, if it doesn't, you might want to consider either shifting your camera so the Cheeto bag is no longer in the shot, or you might want to physically move the Cheeto bag out of the frame. And that brings me to my next point. Tidy up your set. If you're not using a camera and lens like mine that blur the background a little bit, then you might want to consider taking just a minute to remove the worst of the clutter from the background of your scene, simply so that people's eyes are drawn to the most important part of your video, your performance. That doesn't mean you have to go all out and completely scour your room or remove all your knickknacks or belongings. It just means you want to create enough empty space for your presence to fill. Clean lines in your background will help reduce potential visual distractions and make it easier for your audience to focus on the activity in the scene. And my third and final tip for today is to use light as an element of your set. In last week's video, which is linked below, I talked about how to use light to actually make yourself visible to the camera. But today I'm talking about using lighting as an aesthetic element on your set. For example, I have a light back there on my table that isn't really bright enough to light me or the room, but it does add an element of warmth to my background. Other great options for this are Christmas lights, string lights, candles, windows, fireplaces. Even a nightlight can work. So see what you have around. Taking a few extra minutes to implement these simple steps before you start filming can make a significant difference in your end result. And you'll be really glad you made the extra effort once you get to the next step, editing, which we'll be talking about next week. And trust me, I talk from experience as someone who has sat for hours editing clips. You begin to notice every mistake you wish you hadn't made. So take the tips in this video to heart. And that's it for today. If you have any questions about what I talked about, feel free to ask me in the comments. And if you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up to let me know. As always, thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your time with me today. I hope you have a wonderful week and that I'll see you again soon for some more Tech Talk time.
Red,